Welcome to the Binge. I'm your host, here to explore a whirlwind of topics that pique our curiosity and spark conversations. From the latest trends and cultural phenomena to the quirky and unexpected, we'll dive into what's captivating us right now. So whether you're seeking inspiration or just want to join in on some intriguing discussions, grab your snacks and settle in. Let's get binging.
It's the Binge Podcast where everything's a blast. It's the Binge Podcast. Come join us fast.
Julius Cesar, Rome's most ambitious and theatrical leader. In the grand theater of ancient Roman history, few characters command the stage quite like Gaius Julius Caesar. This ambitious ruler was equal parts military genius, shameless self-promoter, and flair for the dramatic that would put a Shakespearean actor to shame. Let's set the scene. It's 49 BCE, and Caesar has spent years campaigning in Gaul, which is modern-day France, racking up victories and becoming incredibly popular with his troops. However, the Roman Senate, fearing his growing power, orders him to disband his army. Caesar's response? He marches his legions across the Rubicon River toward Rome, uttering the iconic words, Alia iacta est. The die is cast. This was essentially the ancient Roman equivalent of a mic drop, signaling an all-out civil war. Once in Rome, Caesar wasted no time in consolidating his power and indulging his theatrical tendencies. He staged elaborate triumphs, basically very extra victory parades, complete with captive kings, exotic animals, and enough gold to make a rapper jealous. These spectacles were designed to dazzle the Roman public and remind everyone just how awesome and wealthy the new leader was. But Caesar's showmanship didn't stop there. During his time as the all-powerful dictator of Rome, he found plenty of opportunities to flaunt his skills. Like when he defeated his rival Pompey and declared, I came, I saw, I conquered, with the same casual confidence of a reality TV star uttering a catchphrase. Or when he had himself declared a living god, just because he could. Of course, no dramatic figure is complete without a tragic downfall. For Caesar, that came in the form of the infamous Ides of March, when a group of senators stabbed him to death in the Roman Senate. But even in his final moments, the ever-theatrical Caesar couldn't resist one last flourish, reportedly uttering the heartbreaking words, Et tu, Brute? To his traitorous friend Brutus. In the end, Julius Caesar was a complex figure, a brilliant military strategist and cunning politician, but also an incorrigible attention seeker with a flair for the dramatic that would put most modern celebrities to shame. Whether you admire him or loathe him, there's no denying that he left an indelible mark on history with his ambition, audacity, and unquenchable thirst for the spotlight. Pride. The malignant ego tumor rotting us from the inside out. You're so goddamn proud of yourself, aren't you? Strutting around with that smug sense of self-satisfaction like you're hot shit? Like the world owes you something? Well, let me let you in on an ugly little secret. Pride is a cancer. A pustulant, oozing ego tumor that's slowly killing us all. Don't believe me? Just take a look around. Better yet, take a look in the mirror. I guarantee you'll see the disease written all over your face. The way you primp and preen, obsessing over your appearance and status. It's pathetic, really. A sad, transparent attempt to convince yourself that you matter in the grand scheme of this cold, indifferent universe. But I get it. I really do. We're all just scared little meatbags, desperately clinging to whatever fleeting shreds of importance we can delude ourselves into believing. Pride is a security blanket we wrap around our fragile egos, shielding us from the harsh truth. We're cosmic debris, insignificant specks briefly illuminated by electrical impulses before winking out forever. So we overcompensate. We adorn ourselves in empty symbols of success, fancy cars, designer clothes, accolades, and trophies. We become arrogant, entitled assholes who think we're better than everyone else. All because we can't handle the suffocating, existential dread of being just another forgettable statistic in humanity's dismal march towards oblivion. The truly twisted part? Our pride is what ultimately damns us. It's what causes wars, oppression, genocide. All the worst atrocities humans have inflicted on each other stem from that same toxic ego tumor. We're so consumed by our own self-importance that we're willing to sacrifice millions of lives just to feed our ravenous ids. Maybe in a few billion years, when our species has turned to dust and the planet itself has been consumed by the sun's expansion, some advanced alien race will visit and find the desiccated ruins of our civilization. And you know what their first thought will be as they analyze our remains? What an arrogant, self-obsessed blight on the universe. So by all means, keep on being proud. Bask in your delusions of grandeur while the existential void slowly closes in. Erect shiny monuments to your ego and high-five your smug self every morning in the mirror. Just don't say I didn't warn you when the cancer finally metastasizes and the whole demented cycle of human pride consumes us all in an orgy of self-destruction. But hey, at least you got to feel special for a little while, right? Totally worth it. The delirious saga of our flapping escape from gravity's shackles. Listen up, you moist little earth limpets. I'm about to regale you with the utterly preposterous tale of how our species managed to sprout wings and take to the skies like a bunch of feathered lunatics. It all started, because of course it did, with a pair of eccentric bicycle peddlers from Ohio who couldn't seem to take "you're daft, you'll break your necks" for an answer. I'm talking about those two famous flap jockeys, the infamous Wright brothers. Now, our stubborn fascination with playing Greek mythological figures has been going on for ages already. Since the dawn of time, really. We'd been leaping off cliffs and tree branches with homemade wings and praying to whatever trickster gods would listen, only to come crashing back down like sacks of sad potatoes. Broken bones, hilarious wipeouts, the whole undignified shebang. But Wilbur and Orville were a tenacious pair of plonkers. They simply refused to take "it'll never work, you daft pillock" for an answer. Through years of tinkering, crashing, and brushing the sand out of their underbritches, they finally managed to coax their rickety little wood and muslin contraption called the Wright Flyer into the air for a whopping 12 seconds of sputtering, undignified semi-flight. To the untrained eye, it seemed like a spectacular dud. Just a couple of dingbats flapping around like a newborn bird having a spasm. But that modest putter across the windswept dunes of Kitty Hawk marked the first time we moist little earth turds managed to achieve powered, controlled flight. We were off and running. Well, flapping, really. From those humble origins, our quest to escape gravity's shackles swiftly became a species-wide mania. Within decades, these new aeroplanes went from being a sideshow curiosity to slingshotting people across oceans in a matter of hours. Suddenly, that vast, lonesome world seemed to shrink as air travel brought every corner of the globe within reach of our grubby little flap fingers. Of course, every new technology also seems to find its way into the callous midst of the military-industrial war machine. Those once peaceful passenger planes were promptly outfitted with bombs and bullets, turning the skies into a terrifying new theater of combat. The sheer nihilistic audacity of it all. Thousands of young men duking it out in a rickety flying death trap miles above the earth. But did that stop our relentless pursuit of loftier heights? Of course not. The march of progress, as it's wont to do, continued undaunted. We didn't stop at simply mastering flight. That wouldn't satisfy our insatiable egos. Pretty soon we were shattering the sound barrier, flying higher and faster than any sane creature has a right to. And then, in one of the most absurdly hubristic undertakings in the whole sordid history of human ambition, we looked up at the heavens and declared, "You know what? That's not high enough for us." Next thing you know, we're strapping fleshy, hairless apes to massive phallic rockets and shooting them into the cold, uncaring void of space itself. All in pursuit of what exactly? Slaking our demented curiosity? Sticking a sweaty finger in the cosmos's wrinkled eye? Shaking our puny fists at the heavens and shouting, "We are but tiny, insignificant specks. But what specks we are!" So that's the story, more or less, of our species' relentless flapping escape from gravity shackles. From Kitty Hawk to the moon and beyond, it's been one delirious, undignified leap after another into the unknown. Daft as a stoat in a birdhouse, yet our refusal to be earthbound has produced some of our greatest achievements. Although I can't help but wonder, as I wedge my doughy self into yet another tiny sardine tin airplane seat beside a colicky infant and a consumptive lout, if the Wright brothers didn't open a veritable Pandora's carry-on bag of woes by getting that first wobbly flight off the ground. But I suppose it's too late to be second-guessing that now. We're all air miles chasers at this point. We might as well lean back, avoid eye contact with our neighbors, and try to appreciate the miracle of flight, or at least the tiny bottles of nose-melting whiskey they pass out. Follow for a new episode every week.
You know by now, got stories to tell, from the small to the grand, all under one spell. We talk about this, we laugh about that, from the strange to the bliss. Get ready to chat. It's the Binge Podcast, where everything's a blast. It's the Binge Podcast, come join us fast. By now, got stories to tell, from the small to the grand, all under one spell. We talk about this, we laugh about that, from the strange to the bliss. Get ready to chat. It's the Binge Podcast, where everything's a blast. It's the Binge Podcast, come join us fast. Where everything's a blast. It's the Binge Podcast, come join us fast. Tune in right now, stories to tell, from the small to the grand, all under one spell. We talk about this, we laugh about that, from the strange to the bliss. Get ready to chat. It's the Binge Podcast, where everything's a blast. It's the Binge Podcast, come join us fast.